Thank you all for having me here tonight. It's truly an honor to be here and share my story with all of you. There's a lot of familiar faces in the room and a lot of faces that I look forward to meeting tonight later on. Truly, I feel like a boy amongst men with all these warriors in this room tonight. There's just the amount of energy that I feel in this room is incredible. For those of you that don't know me, I grew up here in Rancho Santa Fe. I had a very blessed childhood and upbringing. I used to run around and shoot rabbits and coyotes with my BB gun and my bow growing up here. From there I moved on to college in Providence College, and that was my commissioning source. I got commissioned as a second lieutenant out of ROTC from Providence College. After that, I had the pleasure of attending U.S. Army Airborne Ranger School, Sapper School. Cool, Rangers lead the way. This guy went through it when it used to be hard when there was 4 phases. I only had to do 3. But I went through a lot of training, and then I received my platoon of 28 guys. And that was one of the best days of my life, was when I received my platoon. And like any commander, any leader, when you receive a group of guys, all you ever wish to is to bring everybody home. But that doesn't always work out. I apologize. I get emotional.
Okay, that's okay.
First time I told this story is in about 4 or 5 years. So when I did my prolonged exposure therapy, I told this story over and over again every single day, and then had to listen to the tape recordings and had people trying to figure it out for me. So that was about 6 months of telling it over and over again. So I know my story, and I'm going to share it with you tonight. Sergeant Volker was my driver, one of my best friends. And I lost him on December 20th of 2006. We were a 4-vehicle convoy. We were tasked with a reconnaissance mission of a known IED hotspot south of Baghdad in the Mahalas called the Dora Triangle. And there had been IED activity in the pattern analysis. We'd seen IEDs left, right, north, south, east, west within 1 grid square, 1 kilometer. I mean, there's IED attacks there every day. So we were tasked 4 Humvees, 3 guys in each truck, go out there and do a reconnaissance mission so that we can bring our engineer equipment down there and do further route clearance operations. We just needed to see if the streets were wide enough and it was feasible from a maneuver perspective. We rolled out the gate and we started heading down to recon the area. Everything was normal. People were out shopping in the markets. Children were going to school. There was kids kicking a soccer ball in the street. Everything appeared fine. As we approached the traffic circle, just south of a known IED hotspot, I had the grid coordinates come up in my vehicle. That was a known IED hotspot coming up. Everybody from the streets just vanished. We knew we were about to get hit, but there was nothing we could do. We kept rolling. We continued mission. Everybody was scanning their sectors of fire. Everybody's looking for any threats. Nobody saw anything. My truck was the 3rd truck in the order of march out of 4 vehicles. My truck was hit by the blast. All I remember is that the first 2 trucks went through, heading into the traffic circle, and then everything went black. I was knocked out by the blast for, I don't know how long, maybe 2 to 3 minutes, maybe longer. All I know is that everything went black, and when I came to, I had bone fragment, flesh, blood, all over me. I didn't know if it was mine or somebody else's. I didn't know where it was. Immediately, first thing I did was I checked on my guys. My gunner had a broken leg. He broke his tib tibia from the pressure of the blast underneath the vehicle. Detonating, broke his leg. The gunner's platform pushed up into his leg and snapped it right in half. I looked over across the radio mounting all the gear to my driver, Sergeant Volker, and I could not see anything. We were just having a conversation, and then next thing you know, when I wake up, he's not there. I start yelling out for him, Volker, where are you? Told my gunner, I said, hey, McDonald, where's Volker? Where is he? He said, I don't know, my leg messed up. I said, okay, we'll get you out. I set security, got on the radio, called the platoon, had everybody lay down security, positioned the vehicles, and we started returning fire. Because at that point, I figured out that I heard the tink and the whiz of the bullets out of our vehicle, and we were taking fire. Very common tactic of the enemy is to start with an IED, and then get an ambush choke point like a traffic circle, and then start laying down fire from the rooftops. So I positioned the vehicles so that we could return fire and start neutralizing the threat. After the gunners from the trucks started getting on the 50 cals and the 240s, eliminating the threat, I exited the vehicle, started neutralizing the enemy, and went around to Sergeant Volker's side of the vehicle to check on him. As I got to his side of the vehicle, the door was just barely hanging on by one of the hinges. Now granted, these trucks, they have 4 inches armor on the bottom of the vehicle, but if you take a direct blast underneath the vehicle, that doesn't help at all. I opened the door and I looked in the seat and there was nobody there. Where the hell is he? I looked down towards the gas pedal and Sergeant Volker's body had fallen through the floorboard onto the street. All I could see was the top of his Kevlar helmet and his OTV. I grabbed the dreaded body bag that I hoped I never had to use out of my cargo pocket, and I started picking up pieces of Volker and putting them in the bag. We cross-loaded all the radio and sensitive items in the vehicle, took Volker and cross-loaded him in one of the trucks, and took McDonald and cross-loaded him in another truck. I threw a frag grenade in the vehicle and rolled up security, and we headed out to the Combat Support Hospital. From there, I didn't know what I was going through, but I was feeling a lot of things, but what I told myself was to just stuff it all down inside, just to compartmentalize, because I knew that my platoon was going to be tasked with another mission the next day. And that's how we roll. You stuff everything away, and you go operate and you do the next mission. So that's what I did. They removed the shrapnel out of my knee, they gave me crutches, told me to not walk on my leg for a week and see how it goes. I threw the crutches down, met my platoon at the door, and we rolled out on our next mission. I could not let my guys go on without me, because I was afraid of what would happen to them. In the military, you're taught that pain is a weakness. It's something that's supposed to leave your body. That's what pain is. That's the hardest part for people like us, is to ask for help, because we think it's a weakness when we do that. And that's why the suicide rate's up to what it is now. That is the biggest problem. When I got back and got out of the military, I was like a wall. Doctors looked at me, they didn't know what to do with me, they just threw stuff at me, every medication you can imagine. Every antidepressant, every sleeping medication, you name it, I was on it. And a lot of times, certain doctors not talking to each other and on multiple medications at once that counteracted with each other. I was a mess. I was literally a walking zombie. I knew that I couldn't function like that, but I knew I couldn't function with the way I was going on with my life. I started getting into the VA San Diego and getting help through counseling programs there. And the reason that I made it to that step only is because of my support system. I have been blessed with a great support system. I'm going to talk to you a little bit more about that in a minute. I went through cognitive processing therapy, also known as CPT. Essentially, you relive the trauma, and they try and help you make sense of the trauma that you experienced. I went through a cognitive behavioral therapy. It's basically where the therapist helps you understand your views of the trauma that you went through. And I went through prolonged exposure therapy, as I mentioned, that lasted 6 months. It's where you tell your most traumatic experience over and over again. And then you have to listen to yourself, play back, listen to the feelings, the emotions that you experience while you're telling your story. Eventually I got to a point where I had completed all this therapy, and the medications that I was on, I changed psychologists, and I got a new psychologist, and he started dwindling down the medication that I was on. I got to a point where I completed all those courses. I mean, I'm 6 years into my work right now, coming out of the military. I completed all those courses probably about 1 or 2 years ago, finished all of them. Each one took about 6 to 7 months long. And it was very challenging, very hard work to do. That's another reason why I'm here, is because I chose to do the work. I chose to fight against this thing and not let it overcome me. I chose to seek help, even though I didn't want to. I chose to stand up here and talk to you all tonight, even though this is the last thing I want to do. That's my personality. Not everybody has that personality. And those are the ones that end up becoming part of the statistic. Eventually, I got to a point where I'm in constant group therapy now at the Vet Center, and that's been a godsend for me. Just having a group of fellow brothers, fellow warriors to go and talk to, let them hear your story, hear what works, hear what doesn't work, what they're dealing with. That was one of the most beneficial things for me. I got my service dog Bettine in December. She's just been an angel that came down and saved me. She wakes me up from nightmares. I wake up in hot, cold sweats, all sweaty, bed soaking wet. Lights are turned on, covers are off. She's sitting at the end of the bed, wagging her tail, looking for a treat. I mean, you can't beat that. I don't have to stay in that place anymore. I don't have to continue to live through that. I'm on 0 medication since December. I picked her up in New York from a program called Puppies Behind Bars. They train the dog from 6 weeks old, actually 6 months old, to 2 years, and then they match him with a veteran. They teach the dog 95 commands. Bettine knows 95 commands. And only if I can teach my 4 kids those 95. I'm sure I can teach them, just I don't know if they listen. She can watch my back. I don't have trouble going to the grocery stores anymore. I'll go whatever damn time I please. I don't have to go at 1 or 2 in the morning to pick up groceries. I can go to baseball games. We're going to a baseball game on Sunday. I tried going to the football game with my wife, and I lasted through the first quarter without the team. We'll see how the baseball game goes on Sunday. I haven't been back to the stadium since then. I don't like crowded places. There's been so many times that we had to go to a call to help with blast analysis after suicide vehicle or vest exploded. And you roll up to the site and all you see is shoes. There's hundreds of shoes. They're not big shoes, they're little shoes. They're kids' shoes. And that's all that's left. I hate crowds. Being in a room with this many people is a big deal for me. I was angry. I was so angry for so long. Why? Because I hated myself. I truly hated myself. They call this survivor's guilt. You go through something and you don't understand why you're here and why they're not. I would give anything to trade places with Volker. Any day to today. But I can't. The best thing I can do with my life now is figure out my why. And my why, part of it, is here to give back and help the others that are struggling and tell my story. The other part is all thanks to my kids. They are my why. My 4 beautiful babies and 1 on the way with my lovely wife. I couldn't have got to the place where I am without all the work that I've done. The point is that we don't want to ask for help. We want to bottle, we want to stuff, we want to put everything in a little box, throw a lock on it, and put it in the bottom of the closet, and not look at it forever. Take medication when things start to flare up, but keep everything locked up. We don't want to talk about it. Because why? Because it makes you feel uncomfortable. It's hard to talk about it. I couldn't have got to the place that I am today without my support system. So I just want to have, Mom, can you stand up? Just hold your applause to that, please. My dad. My brother. My aunt. Sister-in-law, excuse me. Lori. Love you. And my beautiful wife, Shaka. I love you. I could not be where I am today without the help of this table right here, and those people, and my wife. My wife has pulled me out of the darkest places. She has seen the ugliness, but she stayed there with me, and she still has to deal with it. I don't understand her decision, but I'm anything that you guys can do to hear other veterans' stories, or just listen to people talk, will help them. Anytime that you can reach out to a veteran and ask them a question, it'll make them talk. When you have PTSD, you want to be a fly on the wall. You want to, if you do end up in a mall or a social situation, you're that guy who's taking 20-minute bathroom breaks. You're that guy who's on the wall in the mall, not avoiding everybody. The biggest thing that Bateen's helped me with is exactly that. You can't walk through a mall and not have everybody come up to you and say, "Oh, what a cute dog, and a penny dog, this, that." It's a nightmare. It's a total nightmare. But instead of raising my anxiety level, what that does is it makes me tune into her, give her commands, worry about the dog, worry about people trying to touch her while she's doing her working for me. And that takes my mind off my hypervigilance, off my anxiety of the situation that I'm in. I'm no longer watching people's hands. I'm no longer looking for exit routes if something happens. I'm no longer, I can eat at a restaurant with my back to the door now. That's been a godsend. I can just put her under my chair and she'll look that way. If she starts wagging her tail, I know that somebody's there. If she growls, then I know somebody's there. So Bateen's been a great thing for me, in addition to everything that I've listed here tonight. Truly, Veterans 360, Puppies Behind Bars, organizations like these, they can change lives and they can save lives. Okay? Veterans don't want to have help. We're stubborn. We think we can do everything ourselves. When, matter of fact, we can't. We need your help. We need somebody there to talk with, somebody to go grab a cup of coffee with, somebody who wants to listen. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. How many people in here know me? All right. Well, I'm going to ask, how the hell do you ask 100 people something? I'm going to ask for you to step into a situation where you know it's coming flow. We go with the flow. All right, I know, I didn't say you know that. But I've been to 1,000 events, from my corporate days, and we talk and we listen, but we don't engage, do we? So I want to see out there what kind of questions you might have for Beck.
I have a question. You had given us the solution, but how do we go about that? How do we go about contacting a veteran or being a big sister or whatever, what have you? How does that work?
Well, the smart ass in me wants to say, go down to your local VA.
Okay, okay.
There's people walking in and out of the VA every day, and they're probably not getting the care that they need. And they do need somebody to talk to.
Okay.
What's worked for me, I can just speak from my experience, is that I've branched out, I've connected with other military folk in gyms. Physical exercise has been a huge outlet for me. I was the type of guy who would go run a marathon to beat down my demons, and then go back and run in full boots and a 45-pound ruck because I needed more. There was more demons in there, but I wouldn't talk about it. So you need to find, for me, physical exercise was always my outlet, but I needed something more. I needed somebody to talk to. And I think you can find them at the VA. You can find veterans at the Vet Center in San Marcos. There's a lot of organizations. American Legion out in Encinitas. There's posts everywhere. Yeah.
Is there anything that we should or shouldn't ask? Because we're clearly not necessarily as familiar, we don't necessarily know what it's like. So are there things that we should ask versus things we shouldn't?
I'd say it really depends on the person. Try and engage them in normal conversation first and see what their personality is like. And then, you can see what's appropriate or not. I know people have asked me, did you kill anybody? And you can respond with, only when I'm hungry, and make that. I mean, how do you answer a question like that? So there are questions that you should have asked, but, you can be the judge of that after you fill the person out.
Both of you use the pronoun he in your speaking. Are there differences in the way PTS affects females that you've seen firsthand? And how can we better associate with women in the same situation, who often come back to very different situations than men do?
Yeah, and I also spoke only about military because that's what I am and that's what I know, but don't get me wrong, there's plenty of people.
I was going to say no for the women's.
Yeah.
You guys get it double. Because in the military, we have this thing called military sexual trauma. And that is a double whammy, if you will, from post-traumatic stress. So we actually have women who serve in combat, who serve in a direct combat support role, and may have been hit with military sexual trauma. And I hate to say it, but I've seen it. There is nothing for women out there. There is women living on the streets and living in their cars because their only option to get help is a shelter that has pregnant drug addicts, beaten wives, and they feel safer in their car than they do going to the only form of support. Our program is absolutely going to invite women to join us, share their stories. I think we have, Brianna, where are you? We have a lady over there, and I'm going to tell you a story, so you can get embarrassed in a second. But her story is a good example. She was in a car wreck, car flipped, she landed in a ditch, water in the ditch, she got out, barely. Her friend in the car died. And we connected quite a while ago, and she's been fighting this battle since. Her friends have said, suck it up. You're a drama queen. That's her version of Ben's story. So, you ever want to engage me on the female side of it, I'd be glad to help. There's some great people out there who specialize in helping women.
And studies show that women are at higher risk of developing PTSD. PTS than men are too. So in addition to the double whammy, you guys are more prone to it.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Thank you, Ben.
Thank you.
What's the vet center? What's the vet center, guys? Hey? All right. Well, we got a little surprise for Ben. Not that kind of surprise. You don't need to. Okay, but we're gonna have these guys come. And I know, I was like, I'm getting close now, like that. But this is a good surprise. This is one that you've earned, and I think you're gonna be pleasantly happy. You guys take it.
Thank you. Good evening. My name is Brian Gray. I'm from Veterans United Homelands of San Diego. We're honored to be here with you folks this evening. Like he said, the energy in this room is just unbelievable tonight. So thank you for being here and thank you for your service. 6 years ago, I was part of a team that put together an award. When I was living in Hawaii, we put together an award for someone in the community that we had felt had gone above and beyond their call of duty. So we called it the Above and Beyond Award. Someone who was outstanding, who had committed a meritorious act of service for our country or our community. So when I moved here in August, we brought the award to San Diego, and we take nomination letters. The nomination letters come, we solicit them through Fox Sports San Diego, through the San Diego Union Tribune, and also KSON Radio, Country 97.3. So tonight, we're going to read the nomination letter. This is Chris Cano, our branch manager at Veterans United San Diego. He's going to read the nomination letter.
Good evening, everybody. Hey, great story, Captain. Appreciate your service. 10-year submarine sailor. And I couldn't nominate myself, so. So we received our favorite letter, ladies and gentlemen. I am nominating my brother, Army Captain Airborne Ranger Ben Brown. He's a Purple Heart recipient. He is deployed to Iraq for 15 months, and one day while leading his patrol unit in southeast Baghdad to clear roadside bombs, his unit came under fire. He was wounded, but still rescued his gunnery sergeant and later cradled his fellow soldier in his last moments. This sacrifice has taken a great toll. However, Ben is a survivor in more ways than one. He is fully dedicated to whatever he does. Today, Ben works full-time as a physical trainer, giving confidence to others that positive change is possible. Ben has found his kindred spirit in Chandra, who affirms his worth, and together their blended family thrives. They will welcome their 5th child this September. Ben makes time to coach all 4 children's soccer, basketball, and lacrosse teams. Chandra and Ben participate at school so often that a classmate asked, "How long have you worked at our school?" Ben just beamed, knowing he has his priorities in place. The joyful jingle of Ben's PTS service dog's bell collar can be heard everywhere he goes, followed by Ben's hearty laughter and a group of kids ready to throw a football. Ben was raised the old-fashioned way of having grandparents in the same house, and he lives on 5 acres with his extended family of 13. Ben recognizes the blessings that God has given him and says, "Life has become the best it has ever been, and I have discovered who I am." Ladies and gentlemen, our first Above and Beyond Award recipient, Captain Ben Brown. Not only does Captain Brown receive this amazing Bronze Eagle trophy, but him and his wife Chandra will get a 2-night staycation, a $300 dining credit, and a $300 spa credit at Harris Resort, Southern California. He doesn't know this, but his brother Dan, who nominated him, will also be getting the 2-night staycation. Or he can offer it up to his brother, but he has to decide right now. No, you can keep it. It's already got your name on it. Captain Brown, you're also going to be getting 15 minutes with us on Sunday. We heard you mention you'll be going to the Padres game. You'll be joining me on Fox Sports News San Diego to be interviewed during the Padres baseball game, just to share your story. Like you said, what a magnificent story. So many people just needed to hear it. So we'll have 15 minutes together to do that on Sunday. I'll get you right back out to the game. I don't think we'll be missing much. Texas. And also be interviewed on KSOM Country 97.3. Your story will also be on the Above and Beyond Award website. Again, our first recipient here in San Diego. So we just need to thank our sponsors real quick and our Above and Beyond partners. Just being able to recognize amazing individuals like Captain here. The Veterans Movement, Harrah's Resort Southern California, Veterans United Home Loans of San Diego, the Jared Kelly team at Mission Realty Group, big supporters, thank you for that. Oakwood Escrow, Fox Sports San Diego, and KSON Country 97.3. So these Above and Beyond awards again for the meritorious things that they're doing, not only in the military but outside the military. All the great things you're doing for the children, coaching, sharing your story with us this evening. If you guys know anybody who would like to nominate anybody, please do so. It's the aboveandbeyondaward.com website. Again, it's a pretty big honor to be able to bust in y'all's party and present this to you tonight. So again, congratulations, Cap. Thank you.
All right, good. That's the balance.